So, bagpipes, irritate your neighbor, and win plastic ponies.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah, Lonesome Glory, and it's time for another of our BreyerFest Stories. This is part 2 of BreyerFest Stories with my mom. I hope you guys enjoy.
So, since we talked about the mice,
Mm-hmm.
I thought we might also talk about the bagpipes.
We could do that.
Because you play the bagpipes,
Yes, I do.
and that's weird.
Not weird. It's a great icebreaker for most people.
It's a really great way to piss off your neighbors at 6 o'clock in the morning.
That is true. I've done that too.
Okay, this is going even further back than the last one. 2008,
Mm-hmm.
BreyerFest Global Gallop. Yay. So this was the year that they introduced Alborozo, and we all know the frenzy that happened the Alborozo year. They broke the mold because Breyer hates us and doesn't want us to be happy all the time. I mean, initially when they did it, it seemed like a pretty cool marketing stunt, and then when they finally introduced the mold, it was like, oh, how dare you? But okay, fine. At least we're getting stablemates now. That's pretty cool. But that year we got this brand new, really cool mold, really pretty color. But Global Gallop, and they announced the costume contest. And they announced it really, really early via the mail. And remember, 2008, the internet is not what it is today. So we got everything in little mailer books in January or something. And it was very exciting to get that little book and read it and then tell everyone and get to talk to them about it. So we got our little mailer book, Dad and I, in the mail. And we got very excited. Dad taught school, so he was home as soon as I was home. So we had been talking about this for about an hour and a half before Mom got home.
True.
And I'll let you go ahead with that because you enjoy that part of the story.
Well, what I remember is that when I walked in the door, pretty much, Sarah and her dad both said, "You're going to bring your bagpipe to BreyerFest next year." I said, "Okay," because I'm that kind of mommy. So I did.
Yeah. We did 100% tell her that she had to bring her bagpipe to BreyerFest because we had read that the costume contest was to dress for your favorite country. And Mom has a very weird talent.
Unusual for the United States.
All right. Unusual.
Thank you.
It's sure as crap unusual from Missouri.
That's true.
Yeah. So, since she has this unique talent, we decided that we were going to play it for all it was worth.
Absolutely.
And we told her that she had to bring her bagpipes because we essentially had a ringer. Because everyone would think that they were props.
In about late 60s, I believe.
Not that she's telling you how old she is.
No, I'm not. I was 4. So in the late 60s, I was a Rainbow Girl, which is part of the Masonic organizations. And we had a band, and we were called the Scottish Lassie Bagpipe and Drum Corps. And I happened to play bagpipes. So I played bagpipes since I was about 11 and a half, 12 years old. So that's why I play. And then...
So Mom has kept playing. She still plays. You play, all kinds of little events around here for people. And we decided that she'd wear her kilt, wear her whole getup, and she would play. So we got to BreyerFest. She puts the bagpipe together. Tinker says hi. We got dressed. Mom's walking through the covered arena, all dressed up, and people keep asking her if she can play. And Dad and I are essentially going, don't answer that question. Don't answer that question. Plead the fifth, plead the fifth, plead the fifth. So we got out back where there were fewer people, it's a little quieter, and she wanted to warm up, like get the pipes ready, make sure everything was working. And both of us went, no! No noises! Do not play them. Absolutely, you cannot play them. Because we wanted it to be this big surprise because everybody thought they were just a really, really good prop because they are real. So we thought that they thought she just had this really cool, authentic costume and it looked really good. We really didn't want them to know that they were fully functional and they sounded good too. Or they sounded like a bagpipe.
Yes. Yes, they did.
Some people love it. Some people think it sounds like we're killing a cat.
Yeah, it depends on where you're from.
Go for it, you know. So when we got in the arena, or not in the arena, when we got in this little tent, they called for everybody in the costume contest to line up. And we did. In the heat.
It was hot. It was hot in that tent.
Dad and I were dressed up behind her, and we told her, like, just march, and when you get right in front of the judges, puff up and play.
Yes.
And I'll let you go ahead
and
say what happened.
And so I did. And there was, at that time, didn't they have about an attendance of about 3,000 to 5,000 people?
Yeah, there were quite a few. It was much
yeah.
smaller than it is today.
It was much smaller. And so I did what Don and Sarah asked me to do, is I didn't play until I was ready to walk in front of the judges' stands. And so my first musical note out of that at the time was right in dead center of the judges' station.
Which is right in the middle of the tent,
yes.
too.
And so at that time, of course, I'm not looking at the judges, and
she plays, she started playing Scotland the Brave. She got about 2 notes out. Ed, their announcer, goes, "Whoa!" into the microphone. So he's screaming. And then you could not hear her at all. You were completely drowned out.
I was drowned out by the other BreyerFest patrons and friends and whatever. I couldn't hear myself play. And that means it was loud.
I don't know if you guys have ever been in the vicinity of a real bagpipe being played in real time, but they are as loud as someone holding an air horn near your face. Like, they are
pretty close to that.
They are a horrifically loud instrument. The correct distance, and I'm not being mean.
No, I understand.
The correct distance when you ask someone to play a bagpipe at an event is a solid 30 feet away from any human.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise you don't get good sound. You just get loud.
Right.
That's all they are. There's a reason for that. These things weren't made to be fun musical things in a building. They were made for standing out on the highlands and signaling battles or calling sheep. Like, that's... Yeah. I'm probably completely wrong with some of that history there, but they were definitely not made for indoor use.
Right.
So, if you are playing the instrument, or you are standing directly behind the instrument, and you cannot hear it, that's a lot of people cheering.
Yes.
So we did, 2 circles of this tent?
I think
was
so.
About what they made us do. And then we went back to the table. And Dad and I we're just grinning ear to ear. And Mom, you were trying to take the bagpipe apart, right? You wanted to go to the car and put it apart. Yeah. And Dad and I both went, "You can't leave. You can't leave." So then they started announcing the winners. And I don't think they even really started announcing before Ed was like, "We better just call our bagpiper up here." And
we did, yes.
And this is what Mama won. Yes, this is the Glossy one.
I did play several times there, and people asked me, they kept asking me to play, and again, I'm so very, very, very shy. It was hard for me to do that, but I did. And so when we finally got ready to leave and go back to the car and go back to the hotel and rest, we had to walk by the barns. And we were walking by the barn that had the ponies, the little miniatures,
yeah.
Which is my favorite.
Oh, they're so cute.
And as I was walking by, I really wasn't playing at all because I didn't want to scare the horses. But the folks there in that barn said, "Oh, you've got to play. And I said, "I'll scare the ponies. We don't care." So I played a solo for those folks at the barn, and I was very, very humbled and very, very pleased that everybody liked the bagpipes.
They were so excited that you could actually play them.
Yep.
And the people in the barn were super nice about it. We really were. We've got horses of our own. We were very much, we don't want to scare the horses. This is a weird thing. It's really loud. And the people with the minis were like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And then they like signaled to a couple people down the barn, you remember?
Yep.
And they were like, we got a bagpiper. Anybody care? And they're like, go for it.
But
care.
We did have fun, and so I became the bagpipe lady for an ongoing time, which is perfectly fine.
When we went back to the Clarion that night, everybody knew her as the bagpipe lady,
which was cool.
It was also really fun. As you guys remember, 2014 was BreyerFest 25th anniversary. And for the 25th anniversary costume contest, you were supposed to dress for your very favorite BreyerFest.
Well, duh.
BreyerFest 2014 was also the year I graduated from law school. So that entire summer I was studying for the bar, which meant that my prep time and my ability to focus on BreyerFest things was pretty much non-existent. Mm-hmm. If we wanted to do a diorama or if we wanted to do a costume contest, it had to be something that pretty much was already in our closet.
All right.
Because I wasn't even here. I was in St. Louis.
Right.
You guys were...
Dad and I took care of
you guys
as much as we could.
You guys did a lot of it. But when we saw that it was for Dress for Your Favorite BreyerFest, we decided that we would dress for BreyerFest 2008. And this time they were allowing group contests, or group costumes. So we all decided we would dress. Now, Dad didn't play the bagpipes. I don't play the bagpipes. But we decided that we would help Mom out by being her staff and holding the sign that said what BreyerFest we were dressed for. So we got this big piece of vinyl or something, and I painted it in the little bit of time that I had up in St. Louis that I wasn't studying for the bar. And it said, BreyerFest 2008 Global Gallop, and I put a bunch of flag pictures on it from around the world, pictures of Alborozo, something else. And then when I got home the day before we left, we attached it to a pole so that we could carry it. And I also made Dad and I shirts that had Alborozo on it, said Global Gallop, and they said staff on the back. And that was how we dressed. Dad and I wore these staff shirts and carried this great big sign that said that we were part of Global Gallop. And Mom played the bagpipe. This time indoors.
It was a little nicer.
Blissfully indoors.
Yeah, it was a little nicer, but it's still pretty high.
It was still pretty high, yeah. But it was blissfully indoors.
Mm-hmm.
And we did walk the entire concourse of the All-Tech Arena.
Twice.
That's a lot. And that's a lot of bagpipe music. I'm just saying.
Because if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right, I played pretty much the whole time we were walking around.
There wasn't a secret this time, so we just kept playing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that time we won, and I have him downstairs. He's just, again, up on the high shelf, so I didn't go get him. We won the Glossy Harley D Zip, which was the replacement for a Glossy Celebration model because they'd already glossed the Gutzen van Tike, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they'd already glossed the Goffert for that year. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to make something special for the costume contest. And they gave us 3 of them. There's this awesome picture I will hopefully find and insert that is the 3 of us grinning like maniacs and each of us holding a box.
That's pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome.
It was great.
Your dad was pumped.
He was so excited.
He enjoyed it more than I think any of us did. So
it was so exciting. And he and I got to be comfortable. You had to wear a kilt.
Yeah, well, I'm the mommy, and I do major sacrifices. I'm a good mommy.
But Mom and her bagpipes. So you can see why I was a little disappointed they did away with the costume contest this year for Celtic Fling.
Yeah, that was kind of a downer.
Yeah,
just not getting to see all of our friends at BreyerFest was downer enough.
Well,
but
I mean, this was before they did away with COVID. Before BreyerFest wasn't going to happen, when we were driving out of the park last year and we saw this Celtic Fling banner, we all went, because Aunt Linda goes with us now, and guess what Aunt Linda's special talent is?
Aunt Linda and I both play bagpipes.
She was in the band too. We're getting the band back together. And that was our entire thing until January-ish, when they're like, hi, sorry guys, we're not doing a costume contest. And it was disappointing. And then they did away with, BreyerFest, so that was kind of...
It's very disappointing because we miss all of our friends out there. I miss everybody.
Yeah, we all really do. We've spent this entire kind of BreyerFest weekend just talking about how BreyerFest isn't BreyerFest. Even if we get all the models we want, it's not the same because we don't get to see our folks.
Right.
So
it's just like they canceled a great, huge family reunion. So hopefully next year we will have our real family reunion.
Exactly.
So
what I've been saying to you every time we're done with a video is everybody needs to stay home, stay safe, and wear a mask. That way we will be able to have BreyerFest 2021 together. So thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe, like this video, and let me know in the comments what your favorite BreyerFest story is, and I will see you next time. Bye!